my fellow bookworms, it is Wendy Ivy Martinez. I am a geek and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about some anticipated book releases that are going to be coming out during the month of August, specifically fantasy romance and fantasy romance, because who doesn't love fantasy romance? So I'm going to start from the very beginning of the month up until the very end of the month, the books that are coming out, and in between whether I think I'm going to buy them or not as well. And of course, I'm going to have all of these books listed down below as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the very first book comes out August 1st, and it is called In the Likely Event by none other than the Queen herself, Rebecca Yarros. This book is a romance sort of vibe, and what it says right here is when Izzy, Astor, gets on a plane to go home, she isn't expecting much. It's the usual holiday travel experience, busy, crowded, stressful. She basically sees her seatmate, who I guess she thinks is interesting, charming, whatever. Just 90 seconds after takeoff, their plane goes down in the Missouri River. Their lives change, they change. The guy, Nate, goes on a career onto the military, while Izzy finds herself into politics. Despite a few chance encounters over the years, the timing never feels right. Then comes a high-stakes reunion in Afghanistan where Nate is tasked with protecting Izzy's life. He'll do anything to keep her safe and everything to win her heart. So this is a military romance between these two people who always find each other during their life, and the timing's never right up until this recent event. This looks good. I actually already have it downloaded on my Kindle. It's completely different from Fourth Wing, and I'm currently reading Fourth Wing. I have a vlog coming up for that too. I mean, it's not like Fourth Wing like at all, but if her writing style, you know, I'm excited. The next book is another romance, and it comes out August 1st, and it is called Kiss the Girl by Zoraida Cordova. And this is going to be 352 pages. This one looks so darn cute. It is the third installment in a series called the Meant to Be series. However, I think it's like most romances where it doesn't follow the same characters. We follow different characters in each one. This one is a very modern, non-magical retelling of The Little Mermaid. This is about a pop star whose name is Ariel, and she is in a band with her sisters, and they are called the Siren Sevens, I believe. And Ariel is ready to just stop her career, but her father has something completely different in mind. He is the head of Atlantica Records, and he wants his daughter to break away from her sisters and start a solo career. But Ariel does not want that. So one night she is dressed completely different, and she meets Eric, an up-and-coming rock star, and he basically invites her on a little whimsical adventure, and Ariel goes without her father knowing, and she's just like torn between what does she do, and it just seems so darn cute. So the next book is called Change of Plans by Dylan Newton, and this is about a aunt who is a chef, and she recently just got guardianship over her 3 nieces. She does not know what to do. She knows nothing about parenting because she's never been a parent before. She hadn't raised these kids, and all of a sudden she has guardianship over them. And then she meets Riker Matthews at a grocery store where he literally sweeps her off her feet. And Riker Matthews is basically trying to get a hold of his life too. Ever since his leg was amputated, he starts to fix cars for a living, and it's a romance. That's all I know. So it's him trying to get his life back together, it's her trying to get her life back together, and the sparks fly. The next book, this is a urban fantasy romance, and it is called The 100 Loves of Juliet by Evelyn Skye. The cover itself reminds me very much of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It looks good. It looks like the cover is just very pretty. I don't know if it looks good because I haven't read the synopsis. This one is basically about a woman who is recently divorced, and then she meets a man named Sebastian. So apparently these two meet and sparks fly. However, it is not their first time meeting, because Sebastian is actually a reincarnation of Romeo from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and Helen is a reincarnation of Juliet, and they have met time and time and time again. So this is a modern retelling of Romeo and Juliet with the reincarnation theme in there, and it is a romance. This looks phenomenal. This looks amazing. I don't know how many times I'm going to say phenomenal in these videos, but this looks amazing. It looks so good. It looks so good. Romeo and Juliet, I have always loved the concept of forbidden love. I mean, who doesn't love that? And then on top of that, we throw in the reincarnation theme in there, and anything with the reincarnation theme, I'm all for. And like multiverse, all that, I'm all for. So this looks so amazing. Once again, that is The 100 Loves of Juliet by Evelyn Skye, and this comes out on August 1st. The next book on here is called Masters of Death by Olivie Blake, who wrote the Atlas 6. This one comes out on August 8th, and it says here, I'm going to read it straight from the book, from the thing here, the synopsis here. Viola Merrick is a struggling real estate agent and a vampire, but her biggest problem currently is that the house that she needs to sell is haunted. The ghost haunting the mansion has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. Fox de Moda is a medium, and though he is also most definitely a shameless fraud, he isn't entirely without his uses, seeing as he's actually the godson of death. When Viola seeks out Fox to help her with the ghost infestation, he becomes inextricably involved in a quest that neither he nor Vi expects or wants. But with the help of an unruly poltergeist, a demonic personal trainer, a sharp-voiced angel, a love-stricken reaper, and a few mindfulness-practicing creatures, Vi and Fox soon discover the difference between a mysterious lost love and an annoying dead body isn't nearly as distinct as they thought. This looks so cute. I love this. I love this. Okay, haunted themed, check. We got ghosts, check. Vampires, check. We got mediums, check. This looks amazing. This looks amazing, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. The next book is called Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, and this comes out on August 15th. And again, I'm reading straight from, I think the rest I'm going to be reading straight from the little blurbs here. So it says, there's a princess trapped in a tower. This isn't her story. Meet Toadling. On the day of her birth, she was stolen from her family by the fairies, but she grew up safe and loved in the warm waters of fairyland. Once an adult, though, the Fae ask a favor of Toadling, return to the human world and offer a blessing of protection onto a newborn child. Simple, right? But nothing with fairies is ever simple. Centuries later, a night approaches, a towering wall of brambles, where the thorns are as thick as your arm and as sharp as swords. He's heard the curse that needs breaking, but it's a curse Toadling will do anything to uphold. It looks so interesting. This looks so interesting. So this is a very short read. It is only 128 pages, and it looks so good. Like, it looks so interesting. It looks like such an interesting concept. So it is a princess that doesn't want to be saved, a curse that she doesn't want broken, and yet this prince is trying to do it anyway. So this is like a different version of the Sleeping Beauty story. Next we have House of Odysseus by Claire North. She is the author that wrote the Songs of Penelope. So this book says, in the palace of Odysseus, a queen lies dreaming. On the Isles of Ithaca, Queen Clytemnestra's Queen Penelope maintains a delicate balance of power. Many years ago, her husband Odysseus sailed to war with Troy and never came home. In her absence, Penelope uses all her cunning to keep the peace, a peace that is shattered by the return of Odysseus, king of Mycenae, and his sister Electra. We have this character, then we have Orestius's hands are stained with his mother's blood, Queen Clymista. Penelope knows destruction will follow in his wake as surely as the Furies circle him. His uncle Menelaus, the blood-soaked king of Sparta, hungers for Orestius's throne, and if he can seize it, no one will be safe from his violent whims. Trapped between two mad kings, Penelope must find a way to keep her home from being crushed by the machinations of a battle that stretches from Mycenae and Sparta to the summit of Mount Olympus itself. Her only allies are Electra, desperate to protect her brother, and Helen of Troy, Menelaus's wife. And watching over them all is the goddess Aphrodite, who has plans of her own. Each woman has a secret, and their secrets will shape the world. My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine, and this is a romantic comedy, urban fantasy, romantasy. And this says, Cassie Greenberg loves being an artist, but it is tough. It's a tough way to make a living. On the brink of eviction, she's desperate when she finds a too-good-to-be-true apartment in a beautiful Chicago neighborhood. Cassie knows there has to be a catch. Only someone with a secret to hide would rent out a room for that price. Of course, her new roommate is Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, and he is far from normal. He sleeps all day and is out at night on business and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He also leaves Cassie's heart-melting notes around the apartment, cares about her art, and asks about her day. And he doesn't look half bad shirtless on the rare occasions they're both home and awake. But when Cassie finds bags of blood in the fridge that definitely weren't there earlier, Frederick has to come clean. Cassie's sexy new roommate is a vampire, and he has a proposition for her. This looks so good, okay? Yes. This reminds me very much of, what's that movie? My Best Friend's a Vampire. I forgot what that movie was called. Little Vampire. It reminds me of that, but for adults. That's what it reminds me of, and it looks amazing. The next book is called Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, and this was a viral TikTok series turned novel. I was watching the TikTok series and I didn't really understand it. For some reason I thought it was a different series. But anyways, it says, Assistant wanted. Notorious high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duties. With a lying family to support, Evie Sage's employment status isn't just important, it's vital. So when a mishap with Renadon's most infamous villain results in a job offer, naturally she says yes. No job is perfect, of course, but even less so when you develop a teeny crush on your terrifying, temperamental, and undeniably hot boss. Don't find evil so attractive, Evie. But just when she's getting used to the severed heads suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her heel, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat, and not just the literal kind. because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of Renadon, and someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now Evie must not only resist drooling over her boss, but also figure out exactly who is sabotaging his work and ensure that he makes them pay. After all, a good job is hard to find. So that one looks so awesome. Anyways, you guys, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be notified when I post. I will see you in the next video. Bye!